If you clicked on this video, I'm assuming you've already tried to learn how to one foot. And if you're like 99.99% of the people out there, it did not look like this on your first try. Probably didn't look like that your second try or your third try, and maybe you even gotten frustrated or maybe even given up. In this video, I'm gonna talk about some techniques that you can practice every single time you go out for a little free skate sesh, and you can trick your brain and your body into learning how to one foot over time. So the first step in this process is gonna be building up the muscles in your legs. One footing is actually really physically demanding of your legs and the rest of your body too. So what you should do is every single time you go out for a practice sesh, spend like 5 minutes or so standing still with one foot on the ground and then picking up that other foot and just sort of balancing as long as you can on one foot. You can start by holding onto a wall, or you can just do it on flat ground. You're not gonna be able to balance like longer than 30 seconds or so doing this. Like not even I can do that. It's like trying to ride a bike without moving. You know, you're gonna tip over one way or the other and you have no way to prevent that. So that's what makes this practice technique kind of a worry-free, just muscle builder where you're not like pushing yourself. Give it about 5 minutes every session, and over time, you're gonna have plenty of muscles that you can apply for when you're actually learning to one foot. Make sure you're practicing on like perfectly flat concrete, like maybe a sidewalk or something, because any kind of textured ground, your wheels will get stuck in the little crevices. That's not as useful for your balance. So in your attempts to one foot before, they've probably looked a little bit like this, where you're already free skating at a comfortable pace and you pick up one of your feet. If that works, that works. That's a great way to learn. But if that technique's not working and you keep doing that repetitive practice, is actually a little saying from neuroscience where neurons that fire together wire together. You're just gonna get more and more ingrained into the wrong technique and farther from your goal of actually one footing on free skates. So we need to switch it up and talk about some different techniques. Note that these techniques that we're adding are actually just that in addition to the previous methods of learning to one foot. So the first way you can switch it up and practice your one foot differently is by pushing off the ground every 3 to 6 feet, kind of like you're riding a skateboard. Like imagine your free skates are a skateboard, only use a single one of them, and just kind of push around. For me, when I was learning to one foot, I even put one of my skates like in a drawer to get it out of the way so that if I needed to get anywhere, I only had that one skate. And that was really helpful for just sort of forcing myself to get better at one foot. You don't have to be this rigorous. You could just, you know, give it 5-10 minutes every session where you're kind of pushing around the area, as well as practicing by starting free skating with both and then just ditching one. You can actually switch it up by maybe like changing the music you're listening to, or listening to music, or listen to a podcast. Change the environment, go somewhere else. Take a break from practicing one footing, give yourself a week off. Anything to refresh in your brain how it feels to one foot and to try one footing is gonna be enormously helpful. I asked around at some of the members of the community that what helped them in learning how to one foot. One of the more interesting ones I heard was from Celeste. He said that he used to close his eyes while learning to one foot, which to both me and Gabe sounds kind of dangerous. But if you're in an open area and you've already been trying to one foot in a lot of ways, maybe closing your eyes is just that little spark that you need. Just be really careful because you can easily slip either forward and backwards, and make sure you're in a flat and open area where there's not like cracks or anything that's gonna mess you up. If it works, it works. Even though it sounds weird, it's just another way to shift your mindset and approach the problem from a different perspective. Of course, all of the things from the first tutorial still apply here. Keep your knees nice and bent, keep your arms out and your other leg low to the ground and not way up high. These are all really important when you're learning to one foot. Because you only have one point of contact when you're learning to one foot, the risk of actually toppling over is a lot higher than regular free skating. So I feel like wrist guards are a pretty smart idea when you're learning one foot, just because usually that's the first thing to go down if you were to slip forward or slip backwards during your one foot practice. And just know that like one footing is not something that you can learn by watching these YouTube videos. And it's not even something that I can fully explain to you how to do. You really have to go out and try it, and you'll learn through trial and error. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, just have fun with it. And over time, you'll be surprised to find that you will get better. Once you've started to get the hang of one footing, you're unlocking some really fun and cool tricks on free skates. If you're better at balancing on your front foot, you should try the banana, which we have a tutorial video about right here. And if you're better at balancing on your back foot, you can learn the turnaround, which we have a tutorial right there. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed, give the video a like, and roll with us.